said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic, cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
What we put out on social media, we tend to put out what we want people to know about us or what we want them to think about us. Like, might not necessarily be true, because obviously there's people out there who are fake as fuck, and not everybody is authentic, are they? So, like, what people are putting out there, it's what they want people to think about them.
What do you think it means? Because I think you did touch on this. What do you think it means if people have profile pictures where it's like they're showing torsos or scantily clad or this sort of thing?
It's just the need for validation. It's probably like they want to be told you're beautiful, you're sexy, or whatever it is.
Yeah, they want to feel desired.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And that could go back even further, deeper.
That could go even to what I'm wearing now. That could subconsciously be me saying, everybody, please like me, be attracted to me. Like, while we're on the conversation of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think it means if someone's got a profile picture of the dog, in your opinion?
It could be a couple of things. Like,
or the cat.
It could just be that they absolutely fucking love it. But it's probably something to do with insecurities. They don't feel like they've got a good enough picture of themselves to like have as their profile picture to represent who they are, because that's what your profile picture is. It's a representation of you in one picture of who you are.
It's quite interesting, all that, and my well, it's not my Facebook profile picture. I don't really post on social media.
Yeah.
But I'd say recently, about, I don't know, 9 months ago, I changed my profile picture from when I was about 16 to just a photo of me and my missus. Yeah. Now, I would like, first of all, to understand what that may mean for me. Yeah. And then secondly, you know, where have you learnt all this, and why was that an interest for you to learn that?
That's quite funny. So, first of all, I would say what that says about you is that you're showing the world that you're committed to someone. So it's like, bitches, stay away. It's kind of like that straight away. It's like showing like loyalty to your missus. But there's so many things that I will talk about today where I have just learned. I have been on a quest for fucking years. I've been on this healing and awakening journey where I have just learned every fucking thing that I have needed to learn at that point in my life, and there's always been something, the next thing, something else that I want to heal. Oh, fucking hell, I'm in victim mode. I better heal that now. Oh, what? Now I'm feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome. Oh, I better fucking find out about how I heal that. And it's just a constant, like, all of these things that I know, it's what I've, like, learned on my healing and spiritual awakening journey. Like, what the fuck's going on now? Why am I feeling like this? Oh shit, it's this. Oh, this is how I heal it. And then, like, that's basically how I have learned all this stuff, but I'm good at like storing information.
Right. Do you know what? I'm glad you've just mentioned that word journey, because it's one of the first things we're going to ask. But before we start, we always do this. Are we rolling, Southpaw?
We are rolling indeed.
We are rolling. So today's guest is a self-love and awakening coach. She's been helping people change their lives by changing their thoughts. She is currently offering a healing and awakening course called Saved by the Brain.
Yeah.
We are blessed to be joined today by Marie Annalise.
Thank you.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Just got to be clap, Southpaw. Just got to be clap. Thank you for talking with people like us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So first things first, what is a self-love and awakening coach in your own words?
Basically, I teach people how to love themselves, because we are intrinsically brought up from a young age to not love ourselves, to like almost hate ourselves. Like, I know that from when I was growing up, I heard other people saying, she fucking loves herself, in like a derogatory way, like loving yourself was a bad thing. And obviously there's a difference between loving yourself and being arrogant. But I always like grew up, and I'm sure like a lot of us did in the 90s, that's like probably something that a lot of people heard. I don't know whether like you've heard that growing up. And that is just a way that we would, I don't think it's maybe something that we say now, but like that is definitely something like in the 90s that I heard. And we are just brought up to not love ourselves, and we all need to learn, because there's a whole epidemic now of people out there who do not fucking love themselves, because if they did love themselves, they wouldn't be getting Botox and they wouldn't be getting filler. that's the fucking truth. If you truly looked in the mirror and thought, "Do you know what, you are fucking beautiful," you wouldn't feel the need to go and try and change your face. Yeah, it's like, it's healthy to have a little bit of insecure. Every single person on earth is insecure, but it's how you deal with it. If you deal with it by saying, "Oh, right, I'm going to have a neurotoxin injected into my face to stop it from moving, and then stop all the rest of my muscles in my body from being able to move properly," because what a lot of people don't know is we all know that our skeleton is all like connected in one, but we have a fascia system that makes all of our muscles also attached. So when you are having muscles that are not able to move, it then puts all the rest of the muscles under strain. And what a lot of people don't realise is, like, when they're having Botox, it's like, "Oh, my back, yeah, I'm not fucking surprised. You've got like neck pain and back pain." Yeah, because they can't fucking move like they need to. They've got extra strain on them that they shouldn't have on them.
I didn't realise that point. I am going to research that. I'm going to ask Lynn and see what she says. That the Botox and fillers and whatever else can actually affect the rest of your body. Never realised that.
Yes.
So thank you for that information. What you just said is very true. That phrase, when you said it sort of rang bells in my head. She loves herself. He loves himself, him, whatever. It was passed around as an insult when we were younger. But actually, like, you know, speaking to you today, like, yeah, so he should love himself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I think back then when that insult, or even now when that insult's getting thrown around, it kind of sort of means a bit more than loves themselves. It means like stuck up their own ass sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. And I think there is a difference between loving yourself and being stuck up your own ass. So I'm pretty sure you're all for, by the sounds of it, you're pretty into loving yourself.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure you
In a healthy way.
In a healthy way.
Yeah.
But stuck up your own ass where you have a God complex, would you probably agree that's a bit too far?
Yes, but I also think that everybody should go through a moment of God complex, because we are all fucking connected. The Big Bang Theory is absolute fucking proof of that. We all started in one tiny fucking little piece. Can't remember how small it is now, like the size of like a pinhead, and then it expanded out into the whole universe, and we are all connected. And I can't remember where that started for why I went to there, why I went to that point.
Stop. Hold up. Before we carry on, just a quick word from our sponsor. Do you have a business? Thinking about starting one? Dash, the bespoke web design and branding experts. When you have a business that needs a professional online presence, when your current website is starting to look a little outdated and tired, when you have an idea and want to see it brought to life online, that's where Dash can help. Dash create bespoke websites built around your business and its requirements, from exceptional e-commerce stores to sell your products online, to beautiful brochures showcasing who you are and what you do. The team at Dash will become an extension of your business. You'll be assigned a dedicated team who will help guide and advise from the initial design brief all the way to the website launch. Not only that, Dash provide full aftercare to carry out any changes, alterations or updates quickly and efficiently. It's like having your very own personal web development team 365 days a year. Dash understands that in today's world, the right online image, exposure and representation is the key to success. Book in a free, no obligation consultation with one of their experts today to see how Dash can make your online vision an online reality. Just visit www.dashmedia.co.uk or search Dash Media on Google to find out more. Dash, the bespoke website and branding experts. So a self-love and awakening coach, right? You mentioned the word journey.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the journey was? Because I imagine there was a time when you weren't one of these.
Yes,
What's the journey? What's the story?
So it's basically like awakening from the matrix, spiritual awakening, whatever you want to give to it. But it's all about like reprogramming your mind and pulling yourself out of, right, let me teach you something. So from the moment when we are still in the womb until we turn around 7 years old, our brain is in a state of theta brainwave. And that is the same as when you're being hypnotized. So everything, we are fucking taking everything in. And like everything that you hear, like your family, your friends at school, church, whatever, you're taking that in, and then that is creating your world of view for the future, what you believe to be true of the future. But herein lies the problem. There is no science that proves that. We create our reality with our thoughts and our beliefs. So if we're trapped in whatever beliefs that our family gave to us and our community, then that's where we stuck it. And then that's where the awakening begins, where we start to notice patterns. Actually, do you know what? The way that went in my family, that I've carried on that way my whole life, I'm actually recognising that that's not normal, that's not positive. I'm going to change that about myself. And it's slowly, over time, uncovering all of these different habits, patterns, thoughts and stuff that we have that are holding us back, that are creating limiting beliefs within our mind. And those limiting beliefs keep us stuck where we are right now.
Like product of your environment type stuff.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah.
I think everybody would probably agree with that. You as well, Southpaw, right? And everyone listening. That when we were younger, we were probably taught and learned certain ways and traits and ways of thinking and beliefs and stuff. And sometimes people do get to adulthood and they literally mirror it. It's exactly the same.
Yes.
But some people, like in my instance, and I'm sure 90% of people, you keep some of it. Probably you keep the vast majority of it, of what you were taught, because you were raised by these people. But then there is certain things that you think, actually, I don't agree with that now.
Yeah.
When I'm older, I actually think something else.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, good point.
Yes.
Good point. So the journey, what I want to know is how you got. Once upon a time, Marie wasn't what you are now.
I was fast asleep.
How did you get there?
So basically, I was just living life like everybody else, working all week, partying on a weekend, doing coke, drinking, like basically just living my life like that, like how the vast majority of England live their life. Work through the week, party on a weekend, drink and do coke, whatever else. And then I fell pregnant, basically. So if I can go back a little bit further, I was always like a little bit like spooky from like being a kid. Like,
Right.
so like I could just always like feel like other entities and stuff, like and like sense them. But obviously I only had the vocabulary that I'd learned from my family. So then I would say a ghost just walked into the room, because that's how it was like worded to me or whatever.
You
So
could
then
feel
when-
it and see it, or just feel it?
a little bit of both, like, but more like feel and sense, like
energy.
I could like feel like it, like things like move, and like other like really creepy things would happen to me as a kid. But also like my mum was pure haunted, like to the point like where like she's had like houses exorcised before.
No way.
Yeah, like mad shit used to fucking happen when I lived with my mum. Like, like the just be us downstairs, the toilet upstairs would start flushing. Like, honestly, like it's crazy. Like the Hoover would just turn on, like, meh, like it like crazy things. But then, like, as soon as my mum died, all them crazy shit just like stopped. Like none of that crazy shit happened anymore. So I'm like certain my mother was haunted, because like all of that is like as soon as she died, boom, gone, no more. But yes, so because of my mum's experience with the other side and like the spirit world, she was like quite scared of it. We were all like kind of scared of it. So then I was afraid of my gift, basically. And I didn't know it was a gift back then. I certainly didn't label it as that. I just thought that I was like a freak or whatever. And then as I got older, it was after my mum died, like when I was 18, I remember being in my old like bedroom or whatever, my sister's house. And being in the house alone and deciding I'm going to like try and like connect again, and basically like saying like, is there anybody there? I can't fully remember now because it is such a long time ago, like probably about 20 years ago, but I was like, is there anybody there? And then I heard footsteps on the stairs, so I instantly shit myself and then never tried anything again for years and years and years and years. And then it wasn't until I got pregnant, and then that's when like literally everything fucking changed, because obviously like I stopped drinking, stopped partying and all that stuff. And then that's when I started like really going hard into like my meditating, and I was meditating every single day. And like I think it's because like my son is like so like psychic and connected and stuff, like just him being inside of me, it just just like woke me up like instantly. Well, not like instantly, just like it's obviously like a gradual journey, but that's what began it for me. And I was doing like a lot of meditating and stuff, and it just went from there, and it's like built and built and built and grown from there. I'd always, like, my mother and my older sisters used to always get like card readings and stuff as I was growing up, so it was something that I'd always been interested in. I'd got card readings as well as I'd got older, and then finally I just ordered like a few decks one day, and it was weird, like it just like come naturally to me. It was like I already like knew what like most of the meanings and stuff were. It was just like so easy and like natural to me, and then that's when it like really went to like a next level. Because the thing is with your intuition, we are all psychic. Every single person on earth is psychic. You've just got to like trust yourself. We're connected like through the heart space. I'm going off on like millions of tangents here because everything is fucking connected, but I'll teach you something else. We've got another brain on the heart, and that is where our intuition comes from. There's a set of 40,000 sensory neurites on the heart. On the brain, we've got neurons that move the information around, electrical patterns in the brain. But on the heart, we've got sensory neurites. So they're the same, but they sense. So this little mini brain on the heart, yeah, thinks, learns, and remembers completely fucking separate to the main brain in our head, yeah? And it also... Get this is going to fucking blow your mind. The fact that this isn't like science that just everyone knows and is taught in school is astonishing. But the heart brain sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to like the rest of the body. Like the heart is the thing that is really in control of us, not our brain.
Well, hang on. You know this heart-brain thing,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So there's like a science called, there's an institute called the... Heart Math Institute, and they've done all these scientists there have done all of this work on the heart and found out all of this stuff.
But it's not a physical brain, right?
Yeah, it's a
obviously we can see in
right,
our
I
head,
see
right?
what you mean, yeah.
Now they have technology, you can see what a brain looks like.
Yeah.
They can look at your heart.
Yeah, so
There's no brain on it.
Yeah, so it's not the brain what you're thinking of, because there's different types of brain. All you've got to do is look at a plant and see that they have a brain, but it's like the nervous system's like different to us. They have a brain, but it's just different to us. Where it's
Right.
like that one on there, it's not this. It's already not the same, because these are neurons and they're sensory neurites. They're different, but they're on there.
Right.
There's a set of 40,000 of them.
Do you know, you did make a proper good point there, and that is right. And some people might disagree with that comment that you said that we're all psychic. Well,
Yeah.
no, we are, because at times in our life, everybody that listens to this will say at one point they just had a feeling about something.
Yes.
And it was true.
Yes.
I get them all the time. They're not always right,
Yeah.
but sometimes they are.
If it's not right, then it's just your monkey mind.
Yeah, it's playing tricks on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Because that could be
overthinking.
also down to fear.
Yeah.
Things like that. If you
Yeah.
fear something, shit, that's going to happen. And if it doesn't, oh, thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I do know what you mean about the psychic thing. And I
Yeah.
think there is definitely something that we have some kind of intuition that is invisible.
Yeah.
That we can feel something.
Do you want me to teach you right now how like
Please.
connect with your heart and connect with like your intuition and your inner guidance system?
Let's go.
So all you have to do is become aware of your heart space. So you can do that more easily by placing a hand on there, whether you want to put like in like a heart, like your like in whatever way you want to do it. And then now your brain is automatically got your attention there, because you can feel you there in a sensory way. And now you just need to like quieten your mind, and then say you've got like a question that you want answering. You bring yourself to a quiet place, ask that question, whatever it is, and you will get an answer. Like most of the time you get an answer before you've even finished asking that question, but it will be like a yes, no answer. If it's like, oh, well, yesterday she said blah, 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 it's your monkey mind just saying whatever it wants. It's your ego just like blah, 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 whatever. But you'll just know, because it'll be like, sometimes as well I ask it questions and it'll give me like an answer that I just don't want. Like it'll be saying no to me over and over, and I'm just like, fuck's sake, man, because I want it to tell me the other thing and it's just not.
So that's like a form of meditation, I'm guessing.
kind of really on a really low level. Yeah, it's like just connecting with yourself, your conscious awareness, because outside of this body that we have, we're not this body. We are our consciousness, our awareness. That is who we are on a fundamental level. What we're in, this is just our vehicle for this lifetime, because we are made of cells, which are made of atoms, and on a fundamental level, they are just waves. We are made of energy. We are 99.99999% energy. Less than 1% of us is this. And quantum physics proves that energy never, ever, ever dies. So therefore, we never die. Our body might rot away, but we will just move on to the next phase of existence, whatever that might be. Our awareness, consciousness just moves on to whatever's next.
You know, when you say quantum physics proves that energy never dies, how does it prove that?
That's a good question that I actually don't know the answer off the top of my head.
No.
I would have to do a little bit more thinking into that, but because basically it goes on forever. So right, an atom. What you know of an atom, it's like proton, electron, neutron. It's all like spinning around each other. But that's the old model. That's like the planetary model of the atom. It's been discovered since then, the quantum model of the atom, which says that. Let me draw a diagram for you. Where's my pens?
I've got a pen for you, one sec.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Just when you mention that, obviously,
in my bag.
Like everybody's had people pass away in their life, right?
Yeah.
And I think I speak for me and for me only. I want to believe that their energy still continues.
Yes.
But if I be absolutely honest, I have never seen anything physically which makes me know that for a fact.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm interested in that statement that how do we know that energy lives forever?
Yeah.
I want to believe it.
Because it goes on forever. So this is the quantum model. So, before it used to be like, we've got this in the middle, and then we've got like one going like that way. And do you know what I mean?
What are we looking at?
So that's like an atom, like what people used to think it looked like proton, neutron, electron. But really what it is, let me try and get more comfortable so I can write it better. It's like this, and then it's just continuous waves going out.
Looks like a solar system.
Go on forever and ever and ever. Well, that's the planetary model. This is the quantum model. So this one wave that starts in the middle and then goes out forever and ever and ever. And obviously the signal gets weaker and weaker and weaker as far away that you get from the point of origin, but it does go on forever and ever and ever.
Like a pebble in a pond?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay. But, let's imagine we had a pond that was 1 million miles wide.
Right.
Right? Million.
Yeah.
Bigger than the Earth.
Yeah.
Like as big as our solar system.
Right.
It was a pond that big. Even,
Right.
let's go wild, 10 of them.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
We got a pebble.
Yeah.
We dropped it in the middle.
Yeah.
There's going to be some ripples.
Yes.
Are we saying when we get to the outside of that millions and millions of mile solar system, at some stage there's going to be something from that energy there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, do you know about superposition and quantum entanglement? So
I don't know much about much, I'll be honest.
So let me tell you something. So basically, right, we now know that a particle can be in many different places at the same time. So you've probably heard of Schrodinger's cat, where it's they've got a box, they put in a cat and some poison or whatever, and it's there's a 30-minute timer, and at the end you don't know whether really is that cat alive or dead. And that's about superposition. And
but you know the way I view the cat thing?
Yeah.
The idea in that whatever cat is that it's both alive and dead.
Yes.
My view on it is that's not true. My view is that it's one or the other. We just don't know what it is.
Okay, so then let me tell you about the observer effect.
Okay.
Right, so the observer effect proves that we create our reality with our thoughts. What we observe and what we believe to be true is what happens. So scientists, they had two boards. They've got it's kind of hard. So they had one board here and another board here with two slits in, And then what they did was they had a particle gun over here that threw particles, and went like that through that slit and went like that through that slit. So then when they're being observed, they acted like a particle and they turned up on the board like that. But when they weren't being observed, they acted like a wave and they moved through like this, which then caused an interference pattern. So everywhere where these lines intersect, there was also another one there, another one there, another one there, another one there, showing that basically it's both a particle and a wave at the same time, depending on whether it's being observed. So when it wasn't being observed, it acted in the way that people expected it to act, in the way that people thought that it would act. It's a particle, so it's going to act like a particle. But then when people weren't looking, it acted like a wave, and it made this interference pattern on there.
So what you're saying is, in this particular example, just when you say observed, you mean a human watching?
A human watching, yeah.
So when a human watched this thing,
yes,
it did the straight line thing.
Yes.
But when humans weren't watching, it did this archy thing.
Yes.
How did we know it did the archy thing if we weren't watching?
Because the results at the end,
Right.
where they landed on here. So at the end, when people were observing, there was only these ones here and these ones here.
Yeah.
But when people weren't observing, there was all of these different lines, which were the interference patterns.
Really?
Yes.
And why do you think that is, that particle would operate in that way when we weren't observing?
Well, I actually do have a theory about this. Maybe get a Nobel Prize one day. But this is like the ultimate question that like scientists are trying to find out. So, I mean, it could just be that, so I do have a little theory, but there's also other theories that make it true. So we've got quantum entanglement that shows that when you have like two particles that are like attached and you tickle one, this one like acts like it's being tickled as well. Does that sort of make sense? Right, let's go back to that question. So I think that, like when you look into space, and have you noticed like a stellar stream before? So a stellar stream is when there is absolutely loads of stars all together in like one big like stream sort of thing, yeah? And I think that they think they're shooting one particle at a time like that, but I think it's more like a stellar stream of particles, and
so
that's how it...
Would that be a stellar stream there on the...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, so that's like a bunch of stars all together, and that's what I think it is. I think they think they're shooting just one particle, but it's many particles what they're shooting, and then it decides I'll decide where I'm going. It might not be a wave pattern. It might just be they're deciding, well, I'm going to land here because there's loads of them going through at the same time. But that's just a potential theory. I'm sure that it probably just is the waves.
It's kind of like in this situation, like this particle thing, that like when humans are watching, they're kind of like, they have a mind of their own, and they're kind of like we better be in our like best behavior, we better go in a straight line, and when like they know no one's watching, it's like fuck it, like let's just go wild.
Well, so what it is, so what they say is basically that each of these waves has the potential possibility, and each like micro little part on the wave is a potential possibility of what could happen. But when you're observing it, it goes on the one that you think it's going to. But then when you're not observing, it just goes to one of the other potential possibilities that it could be. So that's where like when we're we're manifesting all of the time with our thoughts. And where we are now, right now in life, that is a conglomeration of all our past thoughts and feelings that have brought us to this point now. It's only by changing your thoughts and your feelings and by changing your thoughts and feelings, you automatically then change your habits, and then that's when you actually change, basically.
Right.
But all of these are different possibilities in the quantum realm that could possibly happen.
Were you good at maths and science at school?
Do you know what? I was all right. I was much better at science than I was maths, which is like kind of stupid because science is like basically just maths at a fundamental level. But it's all about the teachers that you've got, and Yeah. But I've
Yeah.
always been like interested in shit like this.
Seems like high tech shit. I admit, I'm cards on the table. I'm following about 10% of this.
All right,
you
then.
know, I'm thinking, okay, I think I get it, but then my brain's just like, nah, it can't be doing different things. It can't be doing different things.
Yeah.
See,
look it
I
up.
think my brain operates in a very practical way. I think
a lot of people's brains operate.
I think,
that way.
but that's not always that. You know, I think that's probably a bad thing because it could mean my imagination shit as well. Do you know what I mean? But like, my brain just will not allow me to think. Same with the cat thing. My brain will not allow me to think this is neither alive nor dead. My brain says nope, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And that line thing there, it's like nope. If it was going in a straight line when I'm looking at it, when I turn away, it's going to do the same thing. Like my brain just won't allow me. But you're telling me for a fact, different
Yes.
things happen when you're watching and not watching.
Yes.
Well, that's baffling.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that proved right. I'd love to see that.
You just have to look it up. They've got Nobel Prizes for it.
Really?
Yeah.
This is genuine shit.
Yeah, this
Right.
is like real science.
And I think it is important to point out
if
that
you don't want to if you want to Google the double slit experiment,
Let's have a Google so
Yeah.
far. So look at this. What's it called? The double slit
the
experiment.
double slit experiment.
Let's have a
yeah.
look. This is mental. Are we having this then? Are we saying that this really did happen?
Yeah, this is totally real.
Well, this changes
Okay,
everything if it did.
So,
Oh, she's not joking.
So that's a much better illustration that I could draw on my whiteboard with my arms like trying to like get it like this. But,
Double slit experiment cracked reality wide open. And do you know what? Purely from that title there, I know everything you've just said's right. So I'm thinking, oh fuck, like things are happening.
so talk us through this again, but in layman's terms, Maurice. So in a way that
Right, so can I
possibly,
stand up and go to here because it'll be far easier for me to.
if you can spin that microphone around
Yes.
with you, and sort of explain it, pull it up.
You look a
and-
bit like a weather woman.
Is it cold today?
Scottio.
Right, so this is the electron beam gun, yeah, and that is shooting particles in. You can see here there's particles and wave at the same time, and as they go through these slits, you would normally expect to see this when it is acting as a particle because it would go straight through in a straight line like that, straight through in a straight line like that. But when it goes through as a wave.
Very good,
When it
very
goes
good,
through
Marie, very
as
good.
a wave, it creates this interference pattern because there's one going through like that, creating that wave. There's one going through like that, creating that wave. And then everywhere where all of these intersect, that creates a new line on there. So it's acting like a wave and not a particle.
What?
Right.
Say what?
What?
And then I guess it's a case of, is there a way that you could bring that back round into the work that you do and how that is relevant?
Yeah, well, basically, spirituality, spirit is a subsection of quantum physics. Basically, spirit is the unseen that we don't understand. Quantum physics is the unseen that we don't understand.
Right.
And basically, that's what it is. The thing is, like, back in the day, spirit and science used to be entangled in one, but it's the church who took spirit out of science. So, Isaac Newton, basically, in order to be able to get any of his work taken seriously, the church was so fucking powerful back then that they like said to him that he had to take any sort of spirit out, because any sort of energy or anything like that out of his work, because then that it shows that like God is in science and it's not a fucking man in the sky.
He was the gravity guy, right?
Yeah,
Newton, the apple guy.
Yeah.
Right. What? So did the church think that was some kind of hocus pocus shit?
No, they just didn't want people to know that spirit and science are one. Energy, frequency, vibration is spirit.
Well, did just Isaac Newton? He figured out that there was gravity. What spiritual stuff did he do?
Do you know what? I can't fully remember like the full details of all that. I'd have to like go back and like find my research on that to rack my brain of it. But I mean, Southpaw might be able to find it, but if he can.
So he did some.
Oh, you can find everything
He did
Southpaw.
quite a fair few spirituality studies.
No, so it's like maybe you want to find the church take. I wouldn't know how to.
Isaac
Occult-
Newton church beef.
Yeah, look,
That's-
they've called it occult studies. So the
Right.
occult is secret.
Yeah, occult studies.
Yeah.
Isaac Newton was considered an insightful and erudite, theologian by his Protestant contemporaries. He wrote many works that would be classified as occult studies, and he wrote religious tracts that dealt with the literal interpretation of something I can't see.
The Bible.
And let's see him against the church.
Right. I didn't know the church were against gravity.
The church,
Yeah, I mean, they did run the world, you know.
they still do run the world.
Do you think?
Well, they're up there with some of the most powerful corporations and organisations on the world, yeah?
Well, look, I ain't going to start hating on religions, but we've all heard about the Catholic Church's dealings. Aren't they in trouble at the moment, but the media's like hiding it? Have you not heard about this?
No.
There's something like pretty big going on, but obviously our mainstream media isn't showing it. But yeah. Do you know what? For you know, this is meant to be an above board show. We won't go into what that is, but let's just say it's the worst of the worst of the worst.
Right, I
think we all
understand what you
know
said.
what their stuff's
Yeah.
about. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, there are a lot of those cases going on. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's only a matter of time before the Abrahamic religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam will no longer be here because they are oppressive religions and they're not the type of faith that really empowers you. The Bible's been changed so many fucking times. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine got the Bible and changed it to make it into a religion. It wasn't necessarily a religion before that. He took absolutely loads of stuff out of it. He edited loads of stuff. There's things from the Bible that there is mind-blowing stuff about the Bible. Have you heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls? Mm-hmm. It's like in the 1940s or something, somebody found a bunch of scrolls in a cave that were like basically the original Bible, and it's got like the Gospel of Thomas, Mary Magdalene, Judas. It's all what is in the Bible about Judas is a lie. Judas was actually Jesus' best friend, and Jesus basically, or everyone's going to be furious about me saying this, but Judas was actually Jesus' best friend, and Jesus actually asked him to betray him because he knew that it was like meant to happen. Mary Magdalene wasn't a fucking prostitute. She was his equal. She knew just as much as he. She was doing amazing healings just the same as he. There's 3 copies of her gospel. For some reason, it's not in the fucking Bible though.
So is all this in the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Yeah, so like the Mary Magdalene's gospel, there's like 3 copies of it in the world. One is in 2 of them are in England. One's in a Manchester library. One's in Oxford, like I don't know whether it's at the university or in a library or something there. And then another one's in like Berlin, I think.
Right.
And like,
I don't know whether we can read that, but
yeah, it looks like what's it in like Hebrew or something.
Yeah, how's your ancient Hebrew so far?
yeah,
Any good?
it's a little bit slow right now, mate.
But
Well-
even like the Gospel of Thomas, like talks about how Jesus healed people. They don't want people to know that. They don't want people to know that we can self-heal. I mean, the placebo effect is absolute proof of that. The pharmaceutical industry make way too much money if we learn that we have the power to self-heal literally with our own mind.
You do hear these stories, don't you, of people like fixing their own diseases and stuff.
Have you not heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza?
No.
He's like healing people of like anything and everything, like blindness, paralysis. Basically, like in 1986, so he was already like a surgeon. Like I think this is what it is. He was a surgeon, and he got into like an accident, and he broke his back in like a bunch of places. And he was in hospital, and all of these doctors were like, "You've got to have this operation. We're going to have to operate on your spine." And he was just like, I don't think so. And he just like laid there, and with the power of his mind, he like laid there for like weeks on end, visualizing non-stop his spine going back together, and he walked again without any surgery. And then from there, he then took his work and he's like gone around the world and he helps people out. It's all about your brain and your thoughts. People don't realize every single thought you have is not only creating your reality, but it's like your mind, body, spirit complex as a whole holistic system. It's all everything is one. We think of like our mind as separate to our body. No, it's not. It's all one.
So tell me about the tell me about the cards.
Yes.
Something that intrigues me.
And I'm really sad that I didn't like bring any. Like I was saying to Southpaw, like, oh, I'm just so frustrated that I didn't bring any, so that I could just.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Explain, because I've seen this done before with these cards,
Yeah.
and to me they just look like cards with pictures on.
Yeah.
So what are you reading from them? I don't get. Tell me how they work.
So
to,
like
to an idiot. Obviously.
Yeah, so basically each card has like its own like meaning, and there's also like symbolism within like the images as well, not just like the actual meaning of it, and it like all goes back to like the ancient archetypes. But I mostly go by intuition. So like when I'm reading the cards, yes, I do know what the meanings are, and I can put things together like, oh, these three together mean this, but mostly it's just intuition. Things just come to me. I just know things when I'm doing it. Like I'll see things, I'll have visions, and I'm just like, and it just like flows and comes to me.
So, you know these card readings? Let's say I approached you and said, oh, will you do a card reading for me?
Yeah.
What information could you give me in this card reading?
So basically my readings are all about the here and the now, the present moment. Like people get scared, like, oh my God, you're going to tell me I'm going to like die in the future. Oh my God, you're going to like tap into some past trauma. And like, yeah, sometimes like that might happen, but it's mostly about the here and the now, and it's about self-development. Right. So what I do is like the general energy that is surrounding you. What's the biggest thing in your field? Because I just need to go off onto a little tangent so you can understand things a little bit better. But our heart has an electromagnetic pulse that reaches 9 meters outside of the body, and that is like our main energy field, our aura, and that's what really like. So for example, now our auras, our energies are all like intermingled. They're all like vroom, vroom, all going out, and all like we are in each other's energy right now. And it's reading that, and you can read it from a distance. I don't even have to be in front of you to read it because of quantum entanglement, and you can just do it from anywhere, but I've forgot the actual question, what you asked me.
The cards. So if I like that. So if I was coming to you for a card reading, what information could
right,
your card reading tell me?
So first of all, it is like the general energy that is surrounding you. What are the main things that I'm feeling in your energy right now? And then I move on to mind, body, and spirit. So mind, that's like the thoughts that are going on in your head right now that needs sorting out. Whatever bullshit you've got going on in here that is holding you back and stopping you from going to the next level, we'll pull that out and find ways to sort it.
Do you need the cards to do this?
I'm not fully confident without the cards. It's something that I do want to force myself and train myself to do, but I think fear just gets the better of me.
So this is like psychic stuff?
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of what it is?
Yeah.
Right. So you could like look at Southpaw now and read a bit of him.
Maybe sometimes, but I feel like fear gets the better of me without the cards, and I like clam up and like shut down sort of thing.
Like
I don't, yeah,
you need them there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I don't know why. And I've been saying to one of my friends for like a while actually, please can I like practice on you without the cards, but I don't know why, I just haven't got around to do it.
Right. Do you think that sort of stuff like you're born with, or that you can learn it?
I think everybody is born with it, like to like different degrees. Like every single person has the ability to like tap into other people's energy. You do it all the time anyway. Like sometimes you'll think of someone and then they'll just text you. It's because you could feel their thoughts. They were thinking about you, and then that made you think of them. And then next thing, they're texting you.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I mean, to give an example of sort of a card reading scenario that you've had where something has came true, not the one that we discussed in the car, maybe the other one that you gave me about that scenario with that particular person, and then you got the heartbreak energy. I don't know whether that's something you want to expand on.
Yeah. So yes, there was a girl who I was reading for before. And it was a girl who, like, I knew from the past, but I hadn't, like, saw her for, like, years. And she'd found me because I'd read for someone who I was, like briefly dating at the time, and then he'd, like, shared me on his story. And anyway, when I read for her, this energy was coming up of like just deep heartbreak, but it was like I was feeling it like really strong. Like it was hitting me like really hard, like worse than I've ever like felt or experienced anything else. Like when I've read people's cards before, and it like literally like took me out of action for like a few days. Anyway, long story short, it like turned out we were both seeing the same person.
No, fucking way.
Yeah, so I think that's why I was feeling that heartbreak so much, because we were both connected to the same stupid person.
And you were feeling her heartbreak alongside your own?
I wasn't as close with him as she was. She'd been seeing him for a lot longer. She was a lot more attached to him, and they had a more serious thing than I had with him. So it was a lot harder on her than it was for me.
But you could feel something in that.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what comes through. So my intuition, it's normally like I feel things and I know things. Like sometimes, like I might be like getting like pains in certain parts of my body, and I'll be like, what's this? And they'll be like, oh, it's my so and so, and stuff like that.
So you can feel somebody else's pain, sort of thing.
Yeah, like when I tap into your energy, like I can just things just start coming to me. You never know what's going to come through.
No way. So people can like come to you for this service. Like this is a service you offer to anybody that is interested in having it done. Yeah,
so like you can come to me and just have like a reading on your own.
Yeah.
Or I also like do like parties as well, like where I'll like come to your house and I'll like read for like a bunch of people, and then there's like other things as well involved.
I've seen that. So I suppose I was going to ask like who's like the best type of people to benefit from this, but I guess anybody can benefit from it, right?
Yes, but actually one thing that I will say is reading for men is totally different to reading for women.
How so?
Because when women come to you, they're like, they've already got like a problem in their mind. There's a fucking reason why they want that reading. There's like, oh my God, I need to get answers. When men come to you for a reading, it's normally more like a little bit curious, and then they're the ones who have the best reactions because they're like, what the fuck? How do you know that? Whereas like girls are less like, oh, yeah. And they're just like, listen to the advice, where men are just like, whoa, like, so like I really like those reactions because it wakes something up in them and makes them like realise that there's more to just being human.
Yeah, why do you think it is that like that this area that you're into, why do you think it is that it is more, I won't use the word favoured, but it's more like women do it more than men? Why do you think that is?
I think that it's just because women tend to be more intuitive, feminines tend to be more intuitive, so it's like it's easier for females to connect to that intuition than it is men. So it's easier because women have a better connection to their intuition, that it's easier for them to believe that somebody else has it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like if men are more disconnected, it's harder for them to understand, how the fuck do you know that? Do you know what I mean? Whereas like women will get their own little intuitive hits and know things, so they understand it better. Yeah,
I get that. I suppose, from my experience, not everybody. Obviously nowadays there's the Sam Smiths of the world and stuff. So it's not like across the board, but as a rule, historically, ladies were more.
I mean,
in touch.
When you were saying that about like lots of women come to you with an issue in mind, and then you said, not many men come with an issue in mind. I was thinking, I don't think I'd come to you with an issue in mind right now, where I'm currently situated. I'd be like, so anything that you probably would tell me would give me that reaction of fucking hell. How did you know that?
Yeah.
So. And that is interesting that, women seem to be a little bit more in tune with their emotions maybe and sort of their...
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also women are better able to hear the message, what you've got to give. So sometimes I do events as well, and I was working this event one time in London, and there was this guy who reminds me a little bit of you actually, and when I was reading for him, it was obviously like the very first time I'd met him, it was in London and blah blah blah, and it was just coming through, and I just had to tell him that he's got an ego problem. And anyway, he was so furious right, that he just like pulled some money out of his pocket. He paid me more than like he was supposed to, threw it down on the table, and then just like walked off, and I was like a bit like taken aback. But then afterwards, after I'd finished reading cards, like I joined in with the party and stuff, and I was dancing, and I was on the dance floor downstairs, and he come over in me, and I can't fully remember what he said now, but he said something like, I know what you said's true, but I don't give a fuck. And then we just both started laughing.
What's an ego problem?
An ego problem, do you know what? I think to a certain extent, all of us have some sort of ego problem, because our ego is our identity and who we believe that we are. And we're all a little bit self-absorbed in some sort of way, aren't we? We all...
Can I put something to you? So like an ego problem. Is an ego problem the same as having an ego?
No, everybody has an ego.
Okay, so next thing. So having an ego means, like rule of thumb is that you love yourself.
Yes, so like that's not true. Like, like in the spiritual community as well, they're like, you've got to kill your ego. That's not fucking possible. Shut the fuck up. Like, how are you going to kill off your identity? If you killed off your identity, then you would be dead. There's nothing to you if you don't have an identity. Your ego is literally, it is your brain's perception of who you are. That's what your ego is. And it can be healthy or it can be negative. You can have an ego where you think that you are better than everyone else, or you can have an ego where you also think, I'm not good enough, like other people are better than me. Or you could have an healthy ego where you're like, I'm this and everyone else is that, and like whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. And it's just like, yeah, everyone has an ego. It just depends whether it's healthy or not.
Do you think you'd be able to tell if somebody came across to you like they had a big ego or an ego problem, but in actual fact that was a mask and they were actually incredibly insecure?
Oh, I think that's always what it is, really.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think probably a lot of the time, unless you're Donald Trump.
I think as some of them as well. Yeah, it's like it's an inferiority problem, which they mask as a superiority.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad I give you them vibes. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheers for that.
I meant in looks. You remind me of him.
That's good.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, interesting. No, interesting. Tell me about, I've seen a reel on your social. By the way, anybody that's listening, not just for enlightenment, not just for knowledge, but also, for, if you don't mind me saying, for a giggle at times as well.
All right, okay.
Your social media is shit hot, like. So anybody listening, get onto Marie's social media. I went down the rabbit hole, but I seen something, right? And I wondered if we could just do this little exercise.
Yeah.
Tell me about chakra.
Your chakras? Yeah, so we have 7 main chakras in our body that go up our spine, and they have also been scientifically found, yeah? So we have 7 going up, starting at the bottom. You've got your root chakra, then you've got your sacral chakra, then your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. And they go in the order of the rainbow as well. They've got their own colours. So
Right.
it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.
Right.
Sometimes white. Also pinkany sometimes.
Is it why you get purple on your hair and stuff? I've seen you like purple.
Yes, purple is like my colour. Do you want to know something? People tend to, their favourite colour tends to be like their aura colours.
Really?
Yeah, you just naturally, I suppose you just naturally know. That's what I've found.
What's your favourite colour, Southpaw?
Green.
Mine's green too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
What's that mean?
So green is like your heart chakra. It's love.
We'll take that one, we Southpaw.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah,
we'll take that.
I'm a lover, not a fighter, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. But what's the ham and the What's that? What was that about?
Yeah, so they're just different like Buddhist vibrations, because remember, everything is energy, frequency, vibration. So like when you're using those, they're just aligning you to the energy, what that brings you.
Right. So you know, like when you're doing that exercise with like the cup and the round thing.
Yeah.
And you're giving it
Yeah.
What is that doing?
So if I remember correctly, I'm sure that ham is connected to your throat chakra.
It is.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Expert.
Thank you.
Sorry though, why did I say it like that? That was being a dick.
I've just watched the video. That's all.
Sorry, I felt like I was being a dick then the way I responded to that. I've totally lost my train of thought because I was a dick.
What does the ham thing do? What does ham?
So it like connects you more with your throat chakra. So if you've got like any like blockages or anything in there, it'll get rid of them. So if you're like a shy person and you're not confident enough, you can like hum, and it will just help you to say what you've got to say and things related to your throat chakra.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speak the truth and.
And last one, what's the one? How do they differ? Because there's a ham and a
There's ones for all of them, and I don't remember which one is related to, but it's not it's Om.
But you say there's 7 of these chakras.
Yeah.
So each one has
There's
a noise.
actually more. There's more, but they're just the main ones.
Right. Okay. I
Yeah.
learned something new there.
Because our energy field is so big, there's ones that like come outside of our body and like outside.
Right. Okay. You mentioned something about, and I like this.
Yeah.
About anxiety.
Uh-huh.
You talked about anxiety, and a point you made is that being delusional is a good way
Yeah.
to tackle anxiety, or something like that. It was how I read it is okay if you've got anxiety. And I'm butchering this. This isn't word for word.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what this
basically
might
it was
be.
something like if your life's a shithole, if you're not happy where you are, you're in a shit relationship, you got a shit job, whatever it was, you were given a lot of examples. You said one of the things you said, the way to tackle it is be effing delusional, is what you said. Be delusional. Believe that you've got this house. 'Cause I think the example you gave yourself was about that you wanted the house of your dreams, and in bed you would close your eyes and you would imagine and delude yourself that you were in that room.
Yeah.
Is that, and that's all part of like the manifestation stuff?
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
well, we've got something in the brain called the reticular activating system, and that is basically like the bodyguard for our subconscious mind, because our subconscious mind is where all of our like brain neurology is, like everything that we've got stored like from the past, everything, you know, when I was talking about like what's stored in your brain in the first like 7 years of your life.
Yeah.
All of that is in there. So what you believe to be true is in there, and if you want to change that, you've got to get through that reticular activating system. And I've forgot the start of what we were saying. Because I was thinking so much about that, I forgot that.
Anxiety and delusion.
And delusion, yes. So where was I going with the reticular activating system?
Manifestations.
Yeah.
You have to get through that to then...
Yeah, to then change your belief system. And one of the best ways to do that is basically when you're falling asleep and when you're first waking up, your brain is back in that theta brainwave state. So during that time, the brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. Right. That is science fact now. The brain doesn't know the difference. So like there was a study done on these people. I think they were like basketball players. They took half of them trained every single day throwing a basket into a hoop. The other half of them trained every single day imagining themselves throwing their ball into the hoop. All of them had the same improvements at the end. So like the brain doesn't know the difference. So during that time when your brain's in theta brainwave state and you're imagining something that you truly want as you're falling asleep or just as you're waking up, your brain thinks it's real. So then the reticular activating system will make it real for you. It will like create the scenarios that pull it towards you into your reality.
Wow. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that is manifestation, I guess, on its highest level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever read or listen to the book The Secret?
Yes. Do you know what? I got that book like years and years and years ago when I was very much still asleep. One of my friends recommended it to me, and I read it, and that was like whoa, yeah, like that was like a real moment for me, like for realizing that there is more to the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I got, similar to you, years and years ago, I stumbled across it. Somebody had said, you need to be reading this, mate. You need to be reading this. So I did the audio book. And I will say, I won't say, you know, I'm definitely not a billionaire, but I will definitely say the positive reaction. And it wasn't, and nobody actually gave me anything.
Yeah.
It was all in here.
Yeah.
But the positives that came after that were like unimaginable. How things changed just using that. It's very powerful.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
What does that book exactly articulate? What's the sort of narrative of that book?
It's basically just teaching you like how to manifest and the truth, the secret that like the elites and stuff have known for years, and like what they teach to like what the Illuminati teach to like all the celebrities and stuff, and how they are able to like manifest good stuff, and all of us have the ability to do it.
Right, and that's purely through manifestation.
Yeah, I mean, that's one word for it, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. What I would advise for anybody that lots of people will have been through The Secret, because it was very popular, wasn't it, about 10 years ago or whatever it was.
Everyone will know about like the law of attraction and
law of attraction. That's what. Law of attraction. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Law of assumption.
Yeah, law of assumption. Yeah, give it a whirl, Southpaw.
Right.
If anything, it'll either bring you massive effects or some positives, but something in there, and that's always good. You know, like you won't get a negative from it, but really powerful. And as Marie just said, yeah, like. It doesn't list everybody, obviously, but if you do your research, quite a lot of really inspirational people and like really good sportsmen, really good businessmen, like they all swear by it, and like they really bang on about
Jim
it.
Carrey and stuff like
Conor McGregor, people like that, big people.
Well, he did lots of that. There's Conor McGregor. There's reels of him talking about doing something, talking about landing that left hook on Jose Aldo's chin. And then he felt it in that moment of Jose Aldo when he sort of went to him in a press conference, and then in the ring he went and did it. So I do actually believe in the manifestation side of things. Is there anything right now, Marie, that you're comfortable sharing that you're manifesting?
Yeah, I have an amazing story that I love to share. I actually put it on my Instagram recently. So like I'm on a spectrum, and like I have like a little bit of like an obsession with Nikola Tesla, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, Nikola Tesla used to live in the New Yorker hotel in New York, and I took a few years back, like I think it was like 2018, 2019. I took like my son to New York, and I'd gone with like a couple of friends as well, and we were only there for like 4 or 5 days, and there was like a bunch of things that we wanted to do. Like all of us had our own lists, and obviously I really wanted to go at the fucking New Yorker hotel because I'm obsessed. But there were so many things that everyone wanted to do, and all the things that it wasn't like everybody wanted to do, they were shoved to a side. So it was like, okay, like I understand, like fair enough, we're not going to do that, I'll do that another time. So I just let go of it, and even though like I'd been like picturing myself going there, and I was like really excited, and I was just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. So anyway, it was like a couple of days in, and we'd gone to the 9/11 memorial. And it turned out kids are not allowed inside. So I couldn't go in because I had my son with me. So the others just like went in on their own, and I was just like, oh, come on, we'll just go for like a little walk and whatever. And I just started walking. I was walking for about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I was like, I recognise that building. And then at first it didn't like click to me. And I was like, wherever that's like a famous building, it must be from a movie or something. And then all of a sudden I realised like, oh my God, it's a New Yorker. And I literally like grabbed my son's hand and went fucking running down the road. Get this, right? There was a one-off, one day only Nikola Tesla exhibition on that day. And I was that fucking excited. They just let me and my son in for free because I was like, oh my God. And it was just like the best. That's the best thing I've ever manifested, because I really thought, oh, never mind, I'm not going to get this. And then the universe just made it happen for me.
And it was just a one-day thing?
Yeah, it was like a one-day, one-off, like Nikola Tesla exhibition in the hotel that day. That's a room that he stayed in, 3327. So he was like obsessed with multiples of 3. So he had to be in a room which is a multiple of 3. And yeah, they've got that on his door.
Huh.
That's pretty mental, that like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you're
is
like
mental.
years and years of obsession with Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
And you just stumbled into
And
it
then
on
all
that
of
day.
all of a sudden, right, couldn't go at the New Yorker, and then that's manifestation, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's straight up manifestation.
Yeah.
Special. You were meant to be there at that time.
Absolutely, yes. And it was just the best.
What was it that Nikola Tesla was famed for? What is it in short?
In short,
Because all I've heard is the cars, but he didn't actually make the cars, did he?
well, no, not necessarily, but anything with a motor that we have now, the world wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for Nikola Tesla.
I've heard this.
He's like hidden from society. Like people don't realize how amazing he is. He's done a lot more than what like Einstein and other like really like famous scientists have done, but he's hidden from society because of how much of an amazing genius he is. So he invented the motor, anything with a motor, your car, your washing machine, your TV, anything with a motor. We would not have that. Really? Also, you've heard of like AC and DC. So DC was invented by Thomas Edison, direct current.
Yeah.
And Nikola Tesla invented alternating current, AC. If it wasn't for Nikola Tesla inventing that, just to be able to have electricity in all of our houses, there would have to be a power station every mile if it wasn't for him. But people don't know. People are like, Thomas Edison, like...
Why do you suppose that he was hidden away so much then? Or
because basically he was like a fucking super genius.
Right.
And there's things like when he died, there was just trunks and trunks and trunks, 80 trunks like filled with his life's work. And there's the CIA like stole like a lot of it, to be fair. And then some of it the CIA did give back, and it went to Serbia, like his country where he's actually from, and it's like in a museum and that there. But the CIA stole a lot of it, and like some of it's been like declassified and stuff now, and then there's other ones what they're quite secretive about it in there as well in Serbia, like his family who own it. And like so he invented things like before even the telephone was invented, he's got like blueprints of a smartphone, basically. And the reason it wasn't invented, he was so ahead of his time. Like, basically, he was going to people for funding. I want to make this. Here's the blueprints. And they were all just like, you're mental. You're mental. You think that you can talk to someone and see them at the same time on the other side of the world.
No
but the
way.
blueprints are there. Like, even like, so Marconi, like, he got the Nobel Prize for inventing the radio, but he used 17 of Nikola Tesla's patents.
Huh.
He's a super genius, but there was so many things that he invented. Like, he was super famous, like, back in the day. Everybody knew who Nikola Tesla was. He was just as famous as, like, Thomas Edison and all that. I'm sure he was, like, really good friends with Mark Twain. He, like, hung out with Mark Twain and stuff as well.
Like, you know, you mentioned the engines and stuff. I always, like, maybe I'm thick. I always thought it was, like, Henry Ford or somebody that did the engine.
He invented the Ford car.
The motor car, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he invented the actual motor.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's his like his biggest claim is the motor, is it?
He's done all sorts of amazing stuff. Like, if you look him up, your mind will be blown. He was so far ahead of his time. Like, you're on images now, so it's just going to be like, so he's the one who said, like, the secret to the universe is energy, frequency, vibration. If you've ever heard that quote before.
So that's a famous quote from him. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own.
Yeah,
do me a favour. Just go on the web and just search what did Nikola and Tesla invent.
So look, let me tell you something about this first. Right, so here, the Wardenclyffe Tower. Nikola Tesla, this is why he's been hidden from society. He tried to give us free energy. He tried to give us, like, we wouldn't have to pay for gas and electric now if he was allowed to do that. So basically, he tricked, who was the financier at the time? Not Carnegie. Who was it? One of the big financiers at the time, like, who owned, like, oil and shit in America.
Right.
Oh, it must come to me. It will come to me anyway. He went to him and he told him that he was going to do this thing, but I can't remember what he told him, but he didn't tell me he was going to give free electricity to the world. Otherwise, this oil giant wouldn't have allowed him to start it, because then it means that he's not going to be able to make money. So anyway, he started building this Wardenclyffe Tower in New York, and then they found out that it was going to give free energy to the world, so they tore it down. And he was like, they like fucked up his name and his reputation and stuff, and
because the government or whoever,
yes,
they weren't going to lose that money.
Well, the oil giants, basically.
Yeah. You're not taking our money, basically.
Yeah.
I love this. This is like a donate page, so you can donate to his foundation. Is that right?
Also there, look, you can see there, so alternating current power systems there.
The development
Tesla
of
coil.
radio. So you played a part in the development of the radio. The Tesla coil, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Fluorescent and neon lighting.
Yeah.
The hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls. Hydroelectric, water-based power, innit? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Remote control. So I guess, was that the start of an iPhone?
Yeah, because it was not remote, not start of an iPhone. It's infrared, basically.
Infrared.
Yeah. And do you know what Teleforce is?
No.
So, like, back in the day, he went to the American government and was like, I've created this weapon that will stop all wars. I've created this amazing laser. You tell me, like, if any planes or bombs are coming, you just, I can like shoot them down immediately.
Zap it. Zip.
Yeah, like, and it was like in the papers, like, oh, this death ray and everything. And then the Americans were being dickheads to him, so he was like, haha, fuck you, then I'll go sell it to the Germans.
No way.
Yeah, and because I mean, he's from Serbia, isn't he? He's European.
Yeah.
But then I don't think they wanted to either. And I think in the end, what happened was he just didn't sell it because he was like, you guys are going to use this for bad. It's not going to be used for what I want it to be used for. Right. You're just going to go killing people with it.
So somewhere like that, like, because as far as I mean, I don't know much about like military and stuff, but like as far as I'm aware, that doesn't exist today. The zapping thing.
It probably will. The CIA have got all of that. The CIA,
right.
So the CIA have made it by now.
Yeah, someone's made it. Huh. That's
Here,
crazy.
I didn't know all that.
With Nikola Tesla, yeah? Look this up. He did an experiment with the American military, like the Navy or whatever, because he said to them, I can take your ship, you don't have to sail it, you tell me where you want to go in the world, I can make it move like that, right?
What?
So they did this experiment.
That's teleportation.
It fucked up. People were like morphed into the side of the ship and shit.
Hang on, whoa.
Find it. He did it with the CIA. Yep.
Hang on.
That's why he's
Teleportation.
hidden from society.
Elon Musk loves him, obviously. He named his company after him.
Well, basically he.
Go on
the
at all,
first,
Southpaw.
the first car that they made, it's based off one of Nikola Tesla's old designs. The very first car that they made is that the Tesla S. I think that was the first one.
Let's have a look at this. What is go up to the top, Southpaw? Right up.
There you go. Yeah, the Philadelphia.
What is the true
experiment.
story of the Philadelphia experiment? Invisible ships, aliens, top secret missions, a government conspiracy, and Albert Einstein. The Philadelphia experiment had it all. But was the story of the USS Elderbridge a hoax or science fiction brought to life?
I wouldn't look on Discovery Channel because that's just all going to be propaganda.
Yeah, it is like. Come off there, Southpaw.
Okay.
So just have a look at these like drop-down boxes up here because this will just be people's opinions. As far as we know, contrary to the film The Prestige, he never worked on human teleportation. Tesla later built his second secret lab. Do you know what the truth is? This is Google. And
yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
you might find some truth. You're probably going to find 90% nonsense. You're probably best off going on one of them non-mainstream search engines, DuckDuckGo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is what it is it? He played a part in the Philadelphia experiment. Or he did the Philadelphia experiment. And it was basically teleportation.
Basically, yeah.
And what they're saying is it worked.
Yeah.
Right. So someone somewhere could have this.
Yeah, the CIA probably have it. The CIA have so much technology. They have technology that we don't even believe exists.
Well, do you know, you've probably all seen like the alien stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go down rabbit holes with the aliens and there's that like Tic Tac thing, what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was something like 15 years ago, right? And it was like people with credentials. We're talking high up US Air Force, like top rank people who, as a rule, are not nutters,
Yeah.
right? Because they are the best of the best, so they say.
Yeah.
And they had on their radars, and they have literal video evidence of this thing going through the sky, and it would go from 25,000 feet to below the water like that.
UAPs.
And like, you think about it, like as far as we know, we don't have technology that makes something move that quick.
Yeah.
It also, on the infrared, had no evidence of propulsion. There was no heat because anything that has propulsion makes heat.
Yeah.
Because our way of the world is we make things move with booms,
Yes.
kabangs. That's how we make things move. Everything's explosions.
Yeah.
Right. And to make explosions, you've got to have heat. Right. And this thing on the infrared was cold as ice, and it was just it would move from one place to the other in a blink of an eye. And people, it's aliens. I don't think it's aliens. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know whose it is, but I think it's someone's.
Yeah, well, like the Chinese and the Russians and even the Indians have like loads of like really cool technology. But bringing it to aliens. Ooh, I went to Brazil earlier in this year, and I went to the UFO city.
Did you?
Yeah.
You went there?
Yeah, so there's a place called Virginia.
Virginia.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's in 1994-6, there was...
watched the documentary.
I just love it so much. It was the best place ever. I had the best time ever. I love Brazilians. Anyway, what happened was there was these three girls. You see those girls there?
Mm-hmm.
They were just walking along, and they'd already been like, so basically this is like the Brazilian Roswell, basically, yeah?
Basically, yeah.
A plane like crashed, a UFO whatever crashed, and these three girls were just, I think it was two girls, one of them's just like the mum who they ran home to. These two girls were like just walking home, and then they saw that alien, and apparently it just had this pungent smell, like really, really stunk, but they could tell that it was really scared, but obviously they were shitting themselves. They were like, what the fuck is that? So then they ran home, told their mum. But anyway, there's like a whole documentary on it, like what happened was the army and everything, the police, they were like looking for it, and they got it. Get this, everybody who touched it ended up like getting like a virus and like dying. Everyone who touched it, and it went to the hospital. They had a man do x-rays on it, but it was inside of like a bag. He wasn't allowed to see it, and like he wasn't even allowed to see like the x-rays. He just had to perform it. And then what happened was the American Air Force flew into America without permission to be in their airspace.
In Brazil.
Yeah, landed, took it. No one knows what's happened to it since.
I've seen the documentary, and
Yeah.
I remember it after watching the documentary. It was like, nah, it's got to be bollocks. And I did the Googling, and it's like, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, it's true. It happened. Look, the arguments could be, right, listen, nobody saw the man grab the alien, right? There's no video evidence of that. He says he grabbed the alien, and he did die. That did happen. There's
Yeah.
evidence of that. The girls no one's seen the girls see the thing, but they've stuck to that story ever since.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, right, it's about the conspiracy thing. Like, if you've got two people saying the same thing, you can be like, yeah, you fucking made a story up. Right, okay. You get 10 people, you're like, fucking hell, that's took some doing for you all to be on the same page and never change your story.
Yeah.
When you get an entire town where thousands of people who don't know each other
Yeah.
and not related, live on opposite sides of the town, are all saying, nah, this shit happened.
Yeah.
That's when you start to think, is a conspiracy is that even possible? Somebody would eventually say, nah, it's dog shit.
They're threatened by the military. So, like, the documentary that I watched, like, they were, like, going around, like, interviewing people and they were,
Yeah,
like,
that's
scared
right,
to
yeah.
talk because the military were, like, threatening them and stuff.
People were knocking on the doors and stuff in suits and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard about it. That what did you know? You didn't see anything, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that documentary is a good documentary.
Yeah. And then I went and I was like talking to people in the local area, but it's amazing because there's like alien statues everywhere. Even like the bus stops like shaped like a UFO. Like it's just the best place ever.
Where is it? Like in like to the
It's
cities? Is it close to
yes,
Rio?
it's a. So it's in a place. It's in a state called Minas Gerais,
Right.
It's how long did it take us? Because I went to Rio for a little bit. I went to Sao Paulo for a little bit as well, but I was mostly in Virginia. I'm trying to think how long it took me. I only went in June.
What, June just gone?
Yeah, June just gone. I
Wow.
went for a whole month. It was like the best.
Was it just for that to see this?
No. I was studying while I was out there as
Right,
well,
right.
like, and I did some traveling and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's about like a 4-hour drive or something.
Right. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
close enough to get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard the story, seen the documentary, and the thing about the US military flying in on 2 separate planes and shit like this to whisk it away.
Yeah.
Really, really suspicious in it.
Yeah.
Really dodgy. And now, like, there's just no talk of it. It's just,
Yeah.
it's gone. Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Have you heard of somebody called Dr. Stephen Greer?
Nah, tell me.
So basically, he used to work for the American government,
Okay.
and he was the person who was employed whenever there was a brand new president who came in. He was the one who had to go and tell them all of the alien
Like
information
brief
that
them,
they've got, and debrief them on it. And now he's a whistleblower.
Right.
And he teaches you how to have contact with aliens, and basically it's all through your consciousness, through your awareness. I've got his app. I've like done some of his things. I have literally seen the sky light up with like loads of aliens by doing his loads of UFOs and lights by doing his techniques, because it's using certain frequencies, getting into a meditative state. It's amazing. I've done it with my friends. Like, he teaches you how to do it. Like, he needs to be listened to.
I've seen now. When you said his name, I never recognised him, but now I've seen his face. Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, I think he does like a documentary too.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sure
does
there's something.
Disclosure, yeah.
Is that what it
That's
is?
his documentary, yeah, where he talks. Oh, no, that's a season, actually. That's amazing. So he's got a whole season, but he's got like a documentary, like movie as well. Is it Sirius then? Is it that one? But basically, he is... I know that that's definitely from the documentary with him in that blue shirt, because I remember... There's a point where he starts like really crying, where he's saying he's got survivor's guilt because a lot of the other people from the CIA who've become whistleblowers have died, and like he's one of the only ones like surviving still. And I remembered that shirt that he had on.
Yeah, now you said it, that blue shirt, I recognise it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know how we ended up down the UFO rabbit hole, but yeah, no, it's technologies.
I'm a little bit obsessed with aliens too.
Yeah, I like them too. I used, do you know what? I used to believe that there was, and I've literally 180'd it. I used to believe there was aliens and the government was hiding it from us. Now I believe there's definitely no aliens and the government's trying to make us believe there is to hide their technology. That's what I've literally flipped it. I've gone
I
the
think
other
it's
way.
both.
Right.
I think it's absolutely both. I think aliens are here. They live among us. They're pretending to be humans. There's already humans here on Earth. I wholeheartedly, fully believe that. I think that there is alien technology here on Earth that they've got from Roswell and other things like that.
Right.
And
I mean, Elon Musk, there's a good argument that he's an alien. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a good argument.
yeah.
If you told me that Elon's actually an alien, I can't say I'd be like, what? I would be like, all right, yeah, I can see that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, technologies. Yeah, aliens. Could be, who knows?
I think 100%. I think you're a bit fucking stupid if you think there's not the size of the whole universe. In fact, you are arrogant if you think that there's not aliens out there. You think in the whole vastness of the whole universe, we are the only intelligent beings here. Hell to the fucking no.
I think there's 2 different things going on there. I think you are, I believe, my opinion is, of course, we're not the only life forms that exist.
Yeah.
Somewhere other life forms exist. But that's a different question to are they here? That's a different question.
I think 100 million%. How long have Earthlings been on Earth? Approximately 200,000 years, but Earth is billions of years. The universe, I don't fucking know what the universe is. But there's definitely civilizations out there who are far more advanced than us. And they're already here. They're already here living among us, like pretending to be one of us. If we are so arrogant if we think that we're the most advanced civilization in the whole universe and other people don't have the ability to travel vast distances across the universe and blend in as one of us.
I get that. No, I do agree that if somebody thinks that there isn't any other life force or that we are the most advanced civilization that ever lived, ever existed and does exist, I think that is arrogant.
Yeah.
But I think if somebody thinks, I don't think aliens live amongst us, I don't think that's arrogant.
No, that's not arrogant. Do you know what I think? I think that in the not too distant future, it's going like Earth is going to change into like a real science fiction movie, and we are going to have like it's going to be normal aliens coming and going. There's going to be like intergalactic travel, like it's just going to be normal and accepted. The same way that over time, people in countries have had to accept. Oh, we're not the only country in the world. There's other countries. We've got to accept them. That's going to be with aliens next, and like immigration and stuff with aliens, and I think that we're going to be able to come and go to their planets, they're going to be able to come and go to ours. They're waiting for us to get to the point where we can accept that they are real and not be terrified of them. But I think that there's so much shit in Hollywood where people just automatically think, because they've got programmed into the brain, aliens are going to stick a probe up my butt, like, and people just automatically think that, where it's like, that's kind of alien racist if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be good ones and there's going to be bad ones out there. Yeah, there probably is people out there like
alien racism.
Do you know what I mean? There's going to be ones out there who are abducting people and shoving things up the butt, but then there's also going to be ones who are like shooting down fucking missiles and stopping the world from going to war. Like
alien immigration. You'll get Trump building a dome, won't you?
That's why Trump has got Space Force, because he thinks it's not too far off that we might have to protect ourselves from aliens. That's what Space Force is all about. What they tried to, what the Biden whatever stopped, but now he's like bringing it back again.
You know what makes me thingy? Obviously, we talked about Elon before. Like, he's one of the only humans. I think he's a fascinating human because he's one of the only humans on Earth that has a business which puts rockets in space.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of his jobs, among other things. And Elon's so connected to the world. Like, he's actually sound as a pound. Like, he takes a piss out of people. Takes a piss out of himself.
Yeah.
Like, he smokes joints and Joe Rogan's. Like, he's just a sound guy.
Yeah.
But he does publicly say, listen, I put rockets in space for a living, right? If I'd have seen anything that would remotely let me think there's aliens, I'd tell you. And he said, honestly, I've never seen anything.
He's one person in the vastness of the universe.
But he has a better window. But I suppose
he has a better window of understanding. But
Yeah.
just because he hasn't experienced it doesn't. Just because one person on Earth hasn't experienced something doesn't mean it's not true.
Well, I'm going to throw something else out there, right? You know, aliens, right? I think a lot of us, because we have a human brain, right? And the human brain, for the most part, can only think in what the human brain can think. It's limited. It has a case around it, and we can only imagine things that are imaginable. So, what's to say aliens are invisible?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with that? Like, then that changes the whole game.
Yeah.
Because they could be everywhere and you just can't see them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Well, okay, they might not be invisible. What if our eyes only can see certain things in certain patterns? What if they're not invisible? They're visible, just these contraptions can't pick them up.
Yeah,
Do you know
so
what I mean?
basically there's like a whole light spectrum and
That's
we
it,
can't
yeah.
see everything. We can't see infrared, but we know it exists.
Yeah.
We can't see Wi-Fi and electricity, but we know it exists. So there's already things here that we cannot see.
Like, you get night vision goggles, innit?
Yeah.
Like, when it's pitch black, me and you can't see anything.
Yeah.
But you put night vision goggles on, you see everything. So what's to say there isn't things out there what's to say there isn't things in this room?
Well,
that we
yeah,
can't see?
totally. Did you hear about that thing that happened in Miami? Was it like last year where there was like, they tried to like really hide it. So in Miami last year, there was at a mall and people were saying that they could see these creatures. And then all of a sudden, like loads of police come, and I mean fucking loads of police. But then they put it all over the news and said, oh yeah, there was that many police there because there was kids were fighting with sticks. Shut the fuck up. Why are you lying to us? There's there's loads of witnesses that say that they saw like creatures. All of a sudden, people were just walking through a mall, and all of a sudden they're like, ah! Like it's like the veil was like suddenly.
What did the creatures look like?
Like shadow beings, sort of thing. Like try and.
That's the best.
Loads of things have been scrubbed from the internet. It was only like last year.
He's good. This guy, Jeremy Corbell. Have you listened to his stuff?
No, I've not. No.
He's. If you're into aliens, you'd be into Jeremy Corbell.
Okay,
Just YouTube him.
Yeah,
You'll love
will
him.
do.
He's
Yeah,
great.
I'll have a look.
He's got some good documentaries. Do you know, now you're saying this, it does sort of ring a bell. I feel like I do remember seeing like shadowy things falling out the sky. Am I imagining this right? Is that what it is?
I don't think they fell out the sky. I think they were like literally just walking around. I'm sure like I saw somebody's account saying like even those things were like, what the fuck? They couldn't believe that other people could see them because it's not normal that people could see them. It's like the veil was so thin that all of a sudden people were like, whoa, and they could see them.
Huh.
Like it's like they're always there, but normally we can't see them, and then all of a sudden we just could.
And all of a sudden we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a good point. You know, what happens if we just can't see them?
Yeah.
What happens if they are there? They're just not visible to us.
Well, it's like I think that there could be like aliens in the gas giants. So obviously, like the first planets, the gas giants. So the first planets that we've got, Mercury, Venus,
yeah.
Earth, Mars,
Yeah.
they're like rock planets, like with atmospheres. Then we've got Jupiter and Saturn, which are literally just made of gas.
Yeah.
And what's to say that there's not people who live in there who breathe different gases instead of oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide?
Nothing to say that.
So, and we can't see what is behind all that gas. There could be whole civilizations in our solar system living on Jupiter and Saturn. Like Jupiter's the biggest thing in, like, I'm sure you can get like 100 Earths inside of like Jupiter, and that is huge. And just think that there could be civilizations within our own solar system.
And we just can't see them.
Yeah, because they probably look completely different to us. They would probably be terrifying to the average human because if they breathe different things to us, then their whole bodies will work in a different way and look totally different.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I think we definitely. Nobody knows, do they? Nobody knows for sure anything.
Yeah.
Nobody can say there's definitely no such thing. Nobody can say they're definitely not here. Nobody can say they definitely are.
Who's to say that there's not like ones like under the ocean? Because we can't breathe in water, but like we know that there are things that can breathe under the water, like fish and stuff. What's to say that like there's loads of UAPs, isn't there? Like them UFOs that are going under the water, what you were talking about. What's to say that there's not a whole civilization underneath the water?
There isn't. It's true. There isn't. No, there isn't. I'm saying there isn't anything to say that there isn't.
Yeah, because
Do you know what I mean?
there's parts of the ocean. I think we've explored more of space than we'll have the ocean.
Yeah, probably. I know we haven't. What have we done? Like 10% of it or something?
Yeah, it's because it's so deep. Like the pressure's just too like.
Yeah. I mean, we could sit here for hours and go on about aliens because it's just baffling, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just go around and around the houses with it. Let's put it down to it's to be confirmed. We don't know the answer yet. Interesting though.
Yeah.
Tell me about you got a course.
Yes.
Saved by the Brain.
Yes.
Healing and Awakening course. Tell me about this course. What goes down?
So basically, this course, I created it when my spiritual awakening was happening because like back then when it started for me, like when I was pregnant in like 2012, I was just like, what the fuck is happening to me? It's not like now like spirituality is like super cool and popular now. It's like everyone knows about it and everyone knows about spiritual awakening. But back then I was like, what the fuck is happening to me? Like all of a sudden I went from like a normal person to all of a sudden I didn't want to be friends with any of my friends anymore. I didn't want to knock about with cokeheads anymore. I didn't want to be with my husband anymore. I wanted to divorce him. I didn't want to be in my job anymore. It's like all of a sudden my whole life just changed and it was like I had an aversion to my whole life and I was
Really?
like...
Just like that?
Yeah, and it was just like, no, like I want better for myself and I just felt like I was trapped in like a life that I didn't want and it literally all just started like when I was pregnant and then that's when I was like... I started healing and like awakening. Like I got really, really bad anxiety and I started having panic attacks, like to the point like really bad, like where if anyone even said hello to me, my social anxiety was so bad I'd start having a panic attack just from people like saying hello to me. It just got really insane out of nowhere and I was
That
like,
bad?
what is happening to me? Like, I became like a agoraphobe at one point, like where I literally like couldn't even leave the house because I was like so...
Seriously?
Yeah, it was like really fucking bad. So like I had to like force myself to work on myself and find out what is going on, what's happening. And then all of these things, what I learned on this journey of all of these different things that like a lot of that I've talked about today, like it's all on this course. It's all things that everybody should know and everybody needs to know, because we're all awakening, we're all healing. They come hand in hand. When you go through this awakening, you have to heal the parts of yourself, because like we've got like shadow healing as well. There's parts of us inside that we all like feel ashamed of, we feel embarrassed of. There's parts of us that we hate, and it might be a part of us that is our like actual body, or it might be part of our personality or our habits, but there's things that we need to work on and like do this shadow healing to either accept this is me and I've got to learn to love that part, or if it's totally where you don't want that to be part of yourself, then you've got to change it. But you can't expect to be, I'm so holier than thou. I'm fucking Jesus and I never do anything wrong. Where it's like, no, you've got to accept I've got a shadow as well. I'm good and I mostly do good, but also I get angry and I will tell you to fuck off if you're... Do you know what I mean? Like, and you've got to accept that I'm not perfect all the time, but there's parts of yourself where you do have to understand that, like, you've just got to accept it. And that all comes into it. There's like so much that goes into there. It's like, it's got the science of intuition, like so much like stuff in there. But it's all like mostly like learning about the brain. Like, we don't hardly know anything about our brain. We know more about our fucking phone and how to use our phone than we do about our own brain. But the more that we learn about our brain, the more that we can actually like change our life, because that's what it's all about. It's about improving your life bit by bit, there by there. But if you don't know about all these things, like someone could be struggling with imposter syndrome and they don't even know what imposter syndrome is, and they're like, I really want to do this thing, but like I don't want to do it, you know, like because I don't feel like they're good enough, like, and they don't know that they've got imposter syndrome. They're just trapped in this space of like, I want to do that, but like I daren't because I this, that and the other, and they tell themselves that they're not good enough, whereas really if they just worked on themselves in that way and they knew about that, then they'd be able to like move past it and keep moving.
Yeah, just some of the things I've got from it, it's from your course, or I've read, it's how to understand your own brain so you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
How to embrace emotional healing by exploring new practices to release past pains.
Yes.
I like the idea of this one.
Yes.
How to let go of things that hold you back so you can align with your higher self. How to be present and cultivate greater self-awareness for a more peaceful state of mind. So if somebody comes to you who is held back by something that's happened in the past, maybe a traumatic thing, or we'll go with that.
Yeah.
What can they expect after taking the course?
Basically, if they've got some sort of like trauma from the past, what they're holding on to, they are living in the past.
All right.
Yeah. And what you've got to do is you've got to come to terms with that and rewire your brain. It's a process of really working on yourself. It's a process of going through like journal prompts, because you've got to get to the bottom of it to find out really what the problem is. There's always like a deeper underlying problem, and you've got to find that within your subconscious mind. And how you do that is ask yourself questions, and it's like it's got everything that you need in order to like get to the bottom of all of these different problems and then heal it. Because it's only if you're asking yourself these questions and getting the answers, then you're like, oh my God, so that's why I do that. It goes back to my childhood, and it's because I heard somebody say that. And it just comes through that, really. Everything is about our thoughts, our beliefs, and it's only by changing them, that by changing your thoughts first, then you can change the way that you feel, then you can change your habits, and then that's how you change. And that's really what it's all about. It's about changing and improving yourself. But the thing is, we have to, when we want to change, we have to fight against our own brain, because our brain wants to always take the path of least resistance, and the path of least resistance is the path that it already knows. So it would prefer to stay in a familiar hell than something that it doesn't know that could be so much better and so much more positive, because it's got to make a new neurological pathway in the brain. It's like, why would I take that path when I've already got this path? And you're fighting against your brain all the time. Like when you're trying to start a new habit, like for example, like go to the gym, you might be like really motivated to go, but your brain's like, but right now we're supposed to be sat eating crisps and watching TV. And your brain will be like, that's what we're going to do. And you've got to fight against your brain and be like, no. This is the new me. This is the new me. You create a new you by changing the way that you think, allowing those thoughts to change your feelings, and then changing your habits and your behaviours from that. And that is how you're changing. And it's just, the course is just helping you to get through each stage of that. And it's got everything on there that do you know what? I'm adding to it all the time, because the healing and awakening process, it's a journey that never ends.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, because there's
no one
the
who gets the perfect, do they?
Yeah.
No.
The vastness of information out there, you could never possibly know everything.
No.
So there's always something about yourself, the universe, because sometimes you might just have healing and it might not be nothing to do with yourself. You might have a belief about the world that is holding you back. You might have programmed into your brain, money is the root of all evil.
Or the world's shit, or I'm hard done by, or
yeah,
I had a shit
I'm
upbringing.
Bad luck.
Yeah, so I can't because I had a shit start in life. Things like this. And yeah, it's about reprogramming. Is it a bit like cognitive behavioural therapy? Is it kind of like that?
I guess so, to a certain extent, yeah, because you are like retraining your brain to work in a different way, but it's all about like that consistency and like really sticking at it. Because after like 90 days, if you're consistent after 90 days, you've created a new habit if you've done it every day for 90 days.
What's the structure of the course? Is it people pay, they get one go? Is it online? Is it weekly? Like what's the crack?
So like it's a 21-day course. Once you've paid for the course, you've got it forever, because that's the thing about it. I and my clients who've done this course, we always come back and do it again and again and again, because you're always going to find something else. It's like you get lifetime access and you just use it over and over and over. And like I say, I'm always adding new things, not just sometimes from my own healing, but things what I'll pick up like from, I don't always do coaching with it, but sometimes I do coaching with it. And when I coach people, I discover things in patterns in their lives that are not something in mine. I'm like, oh, that's something that people need to work on. I'll add that in, and then I'll like find all the information and everything for that, and then it's always getting new things added in.
Is it like online sort of thing?
Yeah, so like, do you know what? I wish I brought my laptop so I could have like shown you like the full structure of it. It's like you get access to like, you've got to finish that day, and then once you finish that day, the next day you get access to the next one. Right. Because if you try to take it all in one day, you're not going to be able to like, take that information in. So
bite-sized pieces, isn't it?
Yeah, and also it takes 21 days as well to like start your brain on that habit. So if you it's actually, I thought that'd let you like onto like part of the course, and I was thinking, how have you accessed that?
No.
When you access your website through Instagram, you go to somewhere different.
Yes, so that takes you. This is basically like kind of old, if I'm honest. This is like the old thing. What I
go
use.
on the Instagram page, Southpaw.
So if you actually just put www in front of Quantum Marie, it'll take you to that.
Oh, will it?
Yeah.
Huh, that's trippy.
Yeah.
Never seen that before, and I work with websites. That's weird. Okay, spooky. So this is the bit I seen. I got to this from Instagram.
Yeah.
Right, so it is an online course. It's 21 days. People have access to it forever, should they want to.
Yeah.
And it's bite-sized pieces to help, all of these things we just said, and I imagine a lot more as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you tell us some success stories that you've had so far with people through this course?
Yeah, I mean there's some success stories on here as well. But
I read them.
There's, yeah,
really good.
But there's one girl who basically just from doing the course, one of the things that she really wanted to focus on was the relationship with her ex, who she's got kids with, and they used to like argue all the time, and then she just had to like reprogram things in her brain, and now she has a much better relationship with the ex, and things go a lot smoother just from literally like reprogramming the brain.
I mean, this does sound harsh sometimes, but I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
There's been times in my life, much like 99.99% of people, where I hated something about my life, right?
Yeah.
And do you know what I figured out in the end?
Yeah.
The problem was me.
Yes.
It wasn't the thing.
Yeah.
It was me. And it was how I dealt with it and how I thought about it.
Yeah.
And if you can try to work on that, it's not going to happen straight away. Sometimes you need, guidance, you need help, blah, blah, blah. But if you can get yourself to change that thought process.
Absolutely.
Well, you're not going to be a billionaire, but you'll certainly change how you think about that thing.
Yeah, but you can be a billionaire one day.
Totally.
You can work your way up to that. But the more that you work on your beliefs around money and what you're capable of and what's possible for you, each of us are incrementally getting better at attracting more money to us by working on our thoughts around money.
Here. I like it. So if somebody wants to join your course, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go through www.quantummarie.com or they can go to my Instagrams. They can chat with me on there if they've got any questions or anything. They can email me at info@quantummarie.com. Yeah.
And the group stuff, just before we go, because you said you do corporate things, group stuff, like what does that entail then?
So basically it's going in and doing meditations and teaching people about stress because stress is a huge problem. It takes us out of our autonomic nervous system and puts us into fight or flight, and we can put ourselves into fight or flight on a morning just from getting stressed out at the school run and be like, oh my god, I haven't got much time, fucking hell, oh, you hurry up and get ready, and you can literally put yourself in fight or flight. And the thing is about cortisol, when it's released from your brain, it stays in your system for I'm sure it's 8 hours. You might want to look it up and see if it's true, but I'm sure it's so then you're in a state of stress for 8 hours and you're in fight or flight for 8 hours, and it has an impact on your system. Whereas dopamine and stuff, they only stay in your system for 10 minutes. So it's it's a whole
thing. If you have a shit start to your day, that's not a myth. If you have chaos on a morning, as you just say, the rest of the day is fucked, basically.
Well, you've got to really work on it then to try and replace it with the dopamine instead. Yeah.
I admit I'm not there yet. If I get up and I have a proper, some mornings it's just smooth, everything goes well, and I'll get to work and I'll just have the perfect day.
Yeah.
It's 4 to 6 hours it can remain in your system, and if cortisol levels remain high for 6 months or more, it could be
it can literally make you ill.
Chronic stress.
Yeah, it can down-regulate your genes and your proteins, and it can literally make you ill.
I've heard this. I've heard it can literally kill you. Yeah, I've heard. Because everything is just knock-on effects, and you end up just a mess. Yeah, I've heard it. Mate, listen. Amazing. I've learned so much, and I feel like there's so much I haven't learned as well. You come across highly intelligent.
Thank you.
Yeah, highly intelligent, and I believe you.
Oh, thanks.
I believe you. This is coming from somebody I don't think that way, but just listen to what you're saying. I think what you're saying, I think you speak some truths.
Good, thank you.
There's definitely something in it. Listen, everybody. I forgot the website. Quantum Marie is the website.
Yeah.
The social media is also Quantum Marie.
Yeah.
Quantum Marie. Courses, inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, anything, get in touch with Marie and you'll learn a lot. This is the end of the show.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need to put in before we
Not what I can think.
No?
No.
You've been amazing, Marie. Thank you for
having
me.
Like
us. It's been wonderful. Everybody watching, thank you. Please continue to do so. Subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been People Like Us. We will see you next time.